Good evening, class. Hello, David. Good evening, class. Hello, David. How are you? Yeah, welcome to our online class today. I've been trying to connect so that we can start this class. The network has been off and on, and I'm having issue with the PowerPoint I prepared so that this class holds. I will likely want everybody to wait, please. As a point of review, okay. I'm trying to see if the PowerPoint can come up so that we can have a class. Hello, David. Are you with me? Okay. I'm still trying to see if the PowerPoint will still open. Hello, David. Anybody in the group? Can you hear me? All right. So as a recap of what we've done for the past 6 weeks, we started with historical background of animal ecology, origin of the study of animal ecologies that have been identified as part of those who contributed to the growth of ecology. That's what we did. Next was ecology of terrestrial animals and aquatic animals. We also did that together. And oh. Hello, David. Are you here with me? I don't know if you can hear me. Oh. So the next was growth rates and age structure of animal population. We also did that. Okay. We also did that. Then we talk about measurement of population dynamics. And next was competition in organisms. And last week was population in animal ecology. So today will be behavioral ecology of African mammals. It's what we shall be looking at. Mr. David, are you with me? All right. So as usual, I want to share the PowerPoint. Resume, okay. All right. So today we'll be looking at animal behavior, ecology, of African mammals, and as usual, we want to start with the school anthem. All right. Oh, screen sharing was stopped. So that was an introduction of what we are doing. I'm just sharing what we're supposed to do. Today is the last of the topic. Behavioral ecology of mammals is what we shall be looking at. My name still remains Dr. Senewu Megukwete, gmail.com. All right, so like we said, behavioral ecology, or what they call ecology, is a study of the ecological and evolutionary basics for animal behavior. That is the study of how animals behave, their social life. It's what we know as ecology. And these words are coined after Nico Timberlake, was the first to undergo the study of animal behavior. And he was able to outline four causes of this animal behavior. Mr. David, I can see your picture. How are you? I'm not hearing you. All right, so as we continue, what we say, proximate causations are divided into two factors, which are the autogenetic and mechanistic causation or factors. That is to say two factors that are used to examine animal behavior. Either we talk about the autogenetic factor or the mechanistic factor. The autogenetic factors are the sum or the entire sums of experience throughout the lifestyle of an individual, from embryo to their death. That's what we understand as the autogenetic factor. Hence, so these factors include or are included as to the learning, the genetic factors that give rise to behavior in individuals. Okay. So when you look at that, you're talking about the genetic factor that contributes to different traits, different behaviors that are found in animal. We have the other ones, which is the mechanistic factor. As we can see, the names implies the processes of the body that give rise to behavior, such as factors of hormones, behavior, and neural factors that affect these behavior. Hormones and the neural basics that relates, that affects animals' behavior. The other one has to do with the gene. And that's what we say about the autogenetic factors. All right, next slides. All right, behavioral ecology, along with other areas of evolutionary biology, has incorporated a number of techniques which have been borrowed from optimization theory. See, and what is this optimization? It's a concept that stipulates strategy that offers the highest returns to an animal, given all the different factors and constraints facing the animal. It's just a term. Optimization is just a term that seems to analyze, as I say, theory, to analyze the different factors that affect, that contribute both positively and negatively, or that constrains animals' behavior. That's what we mean by optimization theory. Now, there's this what we call the Tinbergen 4 questions. Remember, Nico Tinbergen was the one that started with or developed these aspects of biology, the animal behavior. And he has these 4 theorems that he came up with. He says that most behavioral ecologists focus on answering one of the questions in the following study. They want to know either what is the cause of the behavior. Even with human beings, there are times we see human reacting, and you will be curious to know what might be the cause of the behavior of such a human, isn't it? Yes. Then the next will be, how did that behavior develop within that individual's lifetimes? There's always this case, they say like father like son, or like mother like daughter, or like daughter like father, or like son like mother. Yes, those terms are used because some behaviors could be hereditary, could be from parents, it could be from ancestry lineage, even it could be from society, environment you live. Who will tell you, oh, I'm a Lagos boy. Why is he saying he's a Lagos boy? Because of the environment he lives that are influenced his action, his behavior. Now, the third questions ecologists ask during study of human behavior is, what function does the behavior serve? Okay, what he has done now, what has he achieved? What has he achieved with that behavior? Has he been able to achieve positive things? Has he been able to achieve negative things? So those are the things we consider when we are looking at behavior. Or the fourth one, it says, how did the behavior evolve? How did it develop over time? Those things must have been accumulated, changed, and add up before it becomes a positive or negative reaction in the society. So those are the 4 questions psychologists focus on when we are undergoing the study of animal behavior. And these questions are known as Tinbergen 4 questions. That's why they are named after the biologist and behaviorist Nico Tinbergen, who developed this theory. Now that we've been able to look at what human behavior, animal behavior is, so the question is on our class activity 1, list the 4 questions of Tinbergen principles. Mr. David, are you with me? Not hearing you. I'm not audible.
Hello.
I'm not. You've joined since, and I've not been hearing you contribute. I've made comments, and I expected at least for you to also join. And that's
sorry.
Okay, it's okay.
Sorry, I joined recently. Sorry.
Okay, now I did. I went through some questions that have been developed in study of animal behavior. Can you quickly, if you can remember, list those 4 questions?
I think I missed that. I'm actually just listening to your audio.
Ah, okay. All right. Well, the 4 questions I was talking about has to do with knowing what is the cause of the behavior. That's the first thing. What is the cause? It's just like when you react. People want to know what makes you react, isn't it? Hello?
I'm with you, sir.
Yeah, people want to know what caused your reaction, isn't it? Why is it talking this way? You know? Well, something must have made you react, either ways. Same with animals. What causes this reaction, this behavior? That's always the first question. Okay, the second is, how did the behavior develop within the individual lifetime? How did it develop? Is it something you learn? Is it something ancestry? Is it genetic? Is it mechanical? Then the third one is, what function does the behavior serve? Now that you've reacted this way that you've done, what has it served you? Have you been able to achieve, or does the animal able to achieve whatever it needs to achieve? And the fourth one is that how does the behavior evolve? Evolving means, how did it develop over time? Because those things would have been showing once in a while. And because attention was not given to it, it may have led to maybe a negative outcome, which may not be desirable. So those are the 4 questions regarding the Tinbergen principle. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So the next was on mammals, which was bats. Bats is, what I did was just to summarize them into 2 groups. They are mammals, and sometimes people wonder why bats, they are flying animals, they should have been classified under birds, isn't it? But they are mammals. So if I may ask, why do you think bats are classified as mammals?
Is that for me?
Yes, sir. It's for you. It's a class discussion. Why is it that bats are classified as mammals? And not birds, because they are flying birds, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, let me help you out. Let me help you out. All right. Remember, one of the characteristics of mammals is that they have mammary glands.
Yeah.
Good. So any group that is being classified as mammal must have mammary glands. So that's why bats do, even though they have, they can fly, at least for something, they can fly. So they have wings and the rest. Because of the fact that they have mammary glands, that's why they're called mammals. Sometimes people call them flying rodents, and the rest. So they are traditional, and we have 2 groups. We have what they call the mega Chiroptera and the micro Chiroptera, which are called the mega bats or the micro bats. like two major groups of bats. So what I did for this class was just to summarize some of these bats that we know. And there are few that have been fossilized remains of bats, centuries. So there are some ones that are not existing anymore. We have the Oceanic bat, which was found in the 52 million years old in the Green River Formation in South Dakota, 2004. Another bat. So if you're to check your lecture notes, you will see these groups of bats that are mentioned. So I want you to go back to your notes and look at those groups of bats. I would have done that on this PowerPoint. Okay. Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. All
right. So, although people are scared of bats, why people are scared of bats is for the fact that they carry virus. If you remember Ebola, there was an issue with Ebola some time ago in Nigeria. Reservoir hosts of this virus are the bats, and they could be very deadly. We have the giant golden crown flying fox bats. That's another group of bats that we have. We have the common pistil, or what they call Pistirilus bats. We have so many of these bats. If you have to look, you'll see the classification of these bats to species level. So like I said, most of them have been extinct. You can only see them in fossils that have been fossified in rocks or somewhere. Yeah. Habitats, where are these bats found? Flights has enabled bats to become one of the most widely distributed groups of animals. Yes, because they can fly, they become successful. So apart from the Arctic and the Antarctic, you can find them all over the world. Almost every habitat on Earth. And here you can find different species of these bats in different places, ranging from the seaside to mountain and even the desert. But one you must know is that bats have just two basic requirements. They need a roost where they need to hide and spend the day, or hibernate, a place for forage. So bat burrows can be found in hollow crevices, foliage, and even human-made structures. There are some homes, especially in the roof. If there are holes in the roof, you sit back, sneak in, and stays there and continue to live. There's what they call echolocation. Have you seen it? Bats echolocation. It's like a signal, the particular ultrasonic sound that they send. Sometimes you will imagine in a dark environment, they still navigate and fly. They use this mechanism to find their way out, without, so they send signal, and when the signal comes back to them, they know that there could be a barrier for them to navigate around whatever they are. So it's a very unique biological techniques that they use in order for them to survive. Okay, so by comparing the arthropods and that, so that's what they do, echolocation. There are other things like the wings, which are very thin and very thin than that of the birds. It makes them to maneuver quickly and more accurate, even more accurate than the bat. And it's very delicate. And if I may ask, have you eaten bat before?
Have I what?
Have you eaten bat? Have you seen a bat before live?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that it won't look as if it's so strange to you. Yes. All right. There's nothing so special about the behavior. Most of them are nocturnal. Most of these bats are nocturnal. And when they say nocturnal, These are bats that can only be active in the night. And so you can only find, most of them you see them in the night. That's why people are scared and feel that bats are witchcraft. And they see them on top of the tree. So they quickly associate witchcraft with this, but they are not. They have a very social lifestyle. It varies from solitary life to other forms of life. You can see them in solitary or colonized environment where you can see millions of bats, staying together. And study also shows that bat makes all kinds of signs in order to communicate with others. And so they have a very good social lifestyle. But predators of bats, they have predators are the hawks and the falcons. The birds, the hawks, hawk and falcons are predators of bats. They feed on them. Another aspect is the breeding season. They breed the spring, during spring period, and they may have 1 to 3 litters in a season. So they can have 1 to 3 offsprings in a season in 1 year, depending on the species and on the environmental conditions that are available for these bats. And females generally have offsprings at a time, which could be a result of the mother's need to fly to feed while pregnant. So the female bat use a varieties of strategies to control the timing of pregnancy and the births of the young, so that the delivery does not coincide with maximum food availability and other ecological factors. So they have to synchronize these together so that it does not affect them. They're hunting quite well. They hunt at night for anything they could find. And all right, they feed. What do they feed on? Bats feeds on insects, fruits, and that's why you see that they are fruits bats and insect bats. There's other ones that also feed on flower. There are vertebrate and blood bats. Those that feed on blood. I know that easily flash you back to most of the films you see where bats are shown as vampire. They bite people. So bats are other ones that feed on vertebrates and the blood. But almost 3/4 of the world bats are insect eaters. It's not like what they portray to us. So we're talking about almost 3/4 of the world's bats are insect eaters. So that's their major. So you look at your lecture notes, you'll see more of these details on bats. So the next question on class activity 2, as we just discussed, is what kind of disease does bat spread? What kind of disease?
I think you already mentioned one.
Okay, I did mention. Then
you already mentioned one of it.
Okay, so which one do you also know?
You mentioned Ebola. How that?
I did. I'm thinking maybe you went through your.
Before now, I didn't know.
Okay. There are so many viruses, the bad flus. They also have their own diseases. And they have their diseases. Before I can mention the viruses, they have their own diseases, what they call the white nose syndrome that affects them. We also have the barotrauma and wild turbine. These diseases affect and can kill millions of bats. They've been found in United States and other countries. So apart from that, so we see that they transmit so many diseases, so many parasites. They carry so many viruses that affects. We have like the Ebola, like I mentioned. There are what they call the Nipah virus and the Endra virus. Those ones are not common. But you know of SARS. You know of SARS, isn't
That
it?
is
Respiratory syndrome. Acute, severe acute respiratory syndrome.
Yeah.
Now you now remember. These are the different diseases are associated with viruses. So now we've seen and learned that behaviors of bats, and also talk about reproduction. We'll also talk about their habitats, mention their feeding, the other things. Diseases affect them, and diseases they also spread. But what we must also understand that despite the fact that bats have been associated with negative aspects, and like they are very important in the food web, very important in the food web, because without them, the other link to them may not be able to survive. So everybody has their role to play in ecology, and that's why they're still alive till today. And why they are successful, it's because you can find them everywhere. They fly. The flight alone, because it will have been more devastating if it happens that there's an outbreak that affects them and they can't fly. But some of them cannot. That it will all wipe out all the population. So they move from one place to another. That's how they become more successful than other. All right. So thank you for listening. And we're running on with this.
Just a quick question, please.
All right, so stopping sharing. David, why are you coming to the class after how many weeks now?
I actually didn't know that this class was holding. My portal has been having issues, so recently it was resolved. That was when I got to know that this class holds every
Monday.
7 to 8.
Oh, sorry, but I did send the link, an email to everybody who were offering the course. I don't know your school. Sometimes they do things orally. They would have given you guys advance notice regarding, because one or two has been coming in and only have one person, and since then he has not been able to join. And since it's virtual, I felt 7 to 8 will be more better, so that people will be at home to join. That maybe for those who are working, except maybe weekend. But then weekend, people will think of going out, or party for wedding or any other thing. So what I will do, I will upload all the other ones. The PowerPoints are prepared. It's on my YouTube already. So what I needed to do is to copy it to the my own page, my course page, then the link, so that you can now click on live classes I've been having for the past 6 weeks. Yeah, that's what I would do. And I'll quickly update the group discussion. I've been a little bit down, so that's why I'll update, so that this week I make sure all the details are open for everybody to get ready. Next week, I'll be running up for my revision. So what I will do is to make prepared every weekly topic we'll be doing to run it up next week. So that's what I will do.
Okay.
All right. It's nice having you here.
Yeah, it's good to be here. But I have a question.
Okay.
Just a clarification.
Okay.
You did say that bats are classified as mammals because of some of the features of mammals that they have, especially the mammary gland.
Yeah.
I've seen bats before now. I've caught some, but I don't know, how does that, I have never seen a mammary gland on bat.
It's tiny. You didn't, you're not an expert on that. You're not expert to note some of the external features that are found in them. Anything under the groups of mammals. We have an ant-eating mammals that looks like a bird. They call it platypus species. A platypus, I can't remember the full name too.
Yeah, no.
So for us who have done classification, we look at the major things that are grouped as mammals. You understand? And the main thing that include any group or species in mammals is the mammary gland. It will be very tiny. Very tiny. Or do you think there are other things that I must have used to classify bats as mama? You think? Like they have ears.
Probably because they are one.
They don't have ears, they have feathers, isn't it? But they have ears that looks like feathers, but not real feathers. They don't have feathers.
Yes.
The body is just airy, like you said. So do you think they would have grouped them?
I learned that their feathers of membrane.
You said?
I learned that the feather, that wing they have, is actually a membrane that's extended.
Yes, it is. No, I was just since you were asking why, because you didn't know the mammary glands on them. You know? Anything group under mammals, just go and check. Anything groups under mammal is because of the mammary glands. Just Google it. That's a basic characteristic.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So what do you do is your lecture note. Just look at those different types of bats. You have all the different types and get used to them, because those are the questions they will ask you when the exam come up. I think the revision will accommodate all those ones that did not include by then.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So you're joining from where? Lagos, Abuja?
Abuja.
Okay. Oh, how's Abuja?
Well, good.
It's fine. All right. It's a pleasure, David. We'll see you next week then.
All right, sir. Good night.
Good night.